Hey, I wanted to try to take a quick video. I'm sorry if it comes in a little late in the afternoon, but I just wanted to explain what students were expected to do today in case some kids go home and they know they need to finish, but they just kind of forget. This is specifically work from class today, not anything that I put at the bottom of the homework board. Not not really either of those. It relates to this, but this is specifically stuff in class that we did today that may not have hit home for some kids. They're about to write a argumentative essay. The first thing we did after our engage was to review the prompt. And they set up something called a mind map. I'll get to that later. For the majority of the lesson, they broke up with a partner who was also had the same view, had the same or a similar claim on the essay, and they did research over a few texts to build up evidence and reasons they could use when they go to write their essay over the following week. There's a reflection in Google Classroom that really didn't get done. That's fine. I will want students to do it, but if they didn't get done with class today and they have access to do it at home, I would love for them to do it at home, but they can do it at the end of tomorrow's lesson. So here's the prompt, and the students didn't see the screen, but they can now because this is a little template made for every student that they're going to use to actually type their essay, but the prompt's on here. Imagine your school is considering cutting some elective courses. Which of the following three electives would you save and why? You got computer science, cooking, or music. Create an argumentative essay that supports the elective that you chose. For today's lesson, I didn't have a slides presentation because I didn't feel like it was extremely necessary. Here's what I did show them on the board though. So this is a Google Classroom. It is just like the kids would see it. Say they were going to argue that computer science should be the one class saved if the other ones go away. I put here 2 digital copies of the text that they were to look for and take notes on when it comes to researching and finding reasons and finding evidence to back up those reasons to support the idea that computer science should be saved more than music, cooking, or any other elective. For the majority of the lesson, this is what they use to take their notes in. If you look through it, no matter if they pick computer science, music, or cooking, the 2 texts that they would use for research, in this case for the computer science one, is coding, and the other titles, something to do with computer science. All right, there's a place for every text to take notes with. This is the one that goes with computer science. And this column right here is where when students read over these and look over these, when they kind of figure out in their own mind, hey, this could be a reason that we should save this type of class, this would be where they jot down those reasons. Let's just say, for instance, they're reading coding, it's all around us, and there's somewhere they see a lot of the author saying things like coding makes you a more patient student. All right, a student may think, hey, coding should be saved or computer science should be saved because it makes us more patient. So a reason would be computer science classes make us more patient students. Then over here, they would find some text evidence in the passage noting the paragraph number that would be strong evidence to support the reason they just thought of. So one of my reasons to save computer science class is that it makes you a more patient person, I got to find somewhere where the author of that text I was looking at gave me proof. My instructions to the kids were try to find between both of these 3 to 4 strong reasons that someone might use, which would be them in this case, to argue that their elective should be saved. Because this is directly going to go into helping us write the argumentative essay over the next week. Finding 2 to 4 strong reasons that they could back up each and every reason with evidence from either one of these texts was part of what we expected in order to be successful in today's lesson as we brainstormed and did some research and some planning before we do our essay starting tomorrow. This mind map business is what I'm going to show you next. On the board, this is what we called a mind map earlier, and the warm-up was to make one with a prompt that I just made up, earlier this week. The warm up was to kind of give them a model on how to use another one in order to kind of see how their argumentative essay is going to play out. So this is the one we did for the warm up. Recess should be in middle school because, and I had them work with their tables to just think with each other and come up with 3 reasons, not evidence from any text that we read, because that's not the point of what I wanted them to see. I wanted them to think about, how can I come up with reasons to support my claim? And so they did. They came up with 3 reasons. They made another one of these that was a blank, just like this one, when it comes to the work they did when researching today. And not every class saw this, but I thought about it throughout the lessons and thought, hey, let me show you this. So they set up that blank mind map for what they were finding in their research today, and it kind of, at the end of the lesson, should look like this. And not every class really got to it the same way, which is part of why I wanted to bring this video. But in this part over here is how they would start off their claim. Music or cooking or computer science related should be saved because, and based off of what they found, I wanted them to jot down the 3 strongest reasons that they're going to explain more and back up with evidence in their essay and put them right here, if that makes any sense. And that would have led us into the reflection, and it would have, I told the students, it would have given them a really good picture on where all this research and where their argument essay is going to go from here. Because I feel like a lot of students struggled with seeing the big picture of writing an essay.